There's something very special about Nepal. It brings people back to why we're here and the meaning of life. But despite the beauty of this country, it struggles with deep-seated cultural discrimination and disability neglect, especially for women. I started bringing groups from Australia to Nepal to experience the magic that Nepal offers. There's something very powerful about travel. It makes people step outside their comfort zones and people get back into their senses and back into the present. The tours have been designed to support local enterprises that are making an impact. I believe travel is a huge force for good, and we've tapped into that with 7 Women by bringing Westerners to our centre. There are a lot of shifts in the tourism industry. I think travellers these days are looking for more meaningful experiences where they can not only come to experience the beautiful sights of a place like Nepal, but also make a difference. We've hosted school groups, businesses and ethical travellers, but this trip is a bit different. We've invited global business and charity leaders to experience the tour and feed back their learnings.
I came to Nepal because Stephanie put out a request for people who would be interested to coming to see the 7 Women Centre, and I've been following her for a number of years. We've been friends for a while. It just felt like the right time to come and see what she was doing and help support the women's empowerment movement that she has launched in this part of the world.
So, namaste everyone. Namaste. We'd like to welcome you all, and we are very appreciative that you make a time to come to Nepal and 7 Women. So thank you so much for coming to our centre. We'll have a welcome together.
7 Women began when I was 22. I was in Nepal looking for the deeper meaning of life and came across 7 disabled women who were operating out of a tin shed in the back streets of Kathmandu. When I first met the women, they were living in complete squalor. They were making candles out of ancient-looking candle makers. They didn't have a proper place to live, and I had about $200 left on that trip and paid for 2 trainers to come and train the women in skills.
I think this place has been like a very safe home. I feel like 7 Women Centre is like very holy for all our women. I think this is where they can feel safe and also same time being able to express their skill and become economically independent.
Nepal is a patriarchal society, and all the women at the centre have had horrible stories of suffering and hardship, and yet today they are totally alive, in their roles. Sandhya and Radhika and Suryamaya are 3 of the original 7 women who I met living in the tin shed. The language class is led by Sandhya. When I first saw her in the tin shed, she was covering her mouth and hiding behind a larger woman because she was embarrassed about her appearance. And today, we see her in the literacy classes, giving tours to guests. It's just incredible to see the transformation of Sandhya from when I first met her in the tin shed 14 years ago to her confident self today.
The 7 Women stage of empowerment. First stage, when women are came here, they like the caterpillar. In beginning time, I'm also like a caterpillar. Now I am a butterfly. When I came in here, I saw like just like me, disability woman, like a single mother. I saw them. I am not a only disability. All people are also like a same, like just me. In the beginning time, my life is going lost. I am very shy in that time. In outside, all people are teach me, but in here they are respect for us. Mostly uneducated people are in here. I want to sharing on how do they write name, how to numbering.
Tapalai Kastolcha, Malai Tikcha.
Welcome. Thank you. And coffee.
Sandia. I was drawn to her. I loved her story. I loved how she became strong. But she stands so tall and so proud and so forceful. And meeting her, I felt like I was meeting this 7 Women celebrity.
She has an incredible sense of humour. She jokes around with the guests, and she is full of joy. To look at her in the literacy class, you would never imagine that she was the Sandhya that she was 14 years ago. She's a leader in her community. She's trained many village leaders on how to go back to their village and teach literacy and numeracy, and that has had a ripple effect of over 5,500 women.
I have also future. And I say to for disability women that came here, I was sharing with them. You can't lose your future. You can do also something in here. They are like a home place, like a family.
Radhika is the house maintenance manager. She makes tea and coffee for the women and lunch every day. Her smile and joy lights up the whole centre. Radhika had a really difficult struggle with her immediate family, and now she provides for the family. She earns an income. She is one of the main income earners. She's now got dreams and hopes for the future. She wants to start her own tea shop and provide more for her family in future. She loves work, she loves coming to the centre, and she is living into her human potential and bringing a lot of joy to others in the meantime.
The greatest emotional impact has been meeting Radhika, one of the original 7 women in the tin shed, working with Radhika and seeing what a very confident and fine person that she's become. I'm the father of a son with a disability who's now 29 years old, so I've had the roller coaster ride of working with a son with a fairly serious disability growing up, and seeing the experience of women in a developing country has a huge emotional impact.
Over the last 20 years, these people have actually experienced a great deal of trauma and hardship, yet have retained a great spirit and a warmth. And it's that warmth and connection that's really touched me.
To work about by itself, and you don't want to disturb it. No, that's it. It's
Cooking and food is a universal language. We take the group to participate in a cooking class, and it's not only about learning how to cook, it's about connecting with the women. Some of them don't speak fantastic English, but it's about that connection.
Welcome to our kitchen, everyone, again. This is newly built, it's 2 years now. This is we use for the training as well as when we have groups.
It's fantastic to have people like Jennifer Jones here with the group She's an incredible woman and she inspires many. For her to come here in Nepal just to support 7 Women and see what we do here means a great deal to me and the team.
I just want to eat it all right now. We're making momos, and I've yet to exactly figure out everything that's going to go into the momo, but I'm working on the ginger part right now. So I have a rock and I am mashing the ginger. Looks like it's going to be pretty good. Traveling, you know, in the world opens our eyes to so much, and being here is no different. You know, it's different culture, different people, different cuisine, different food, and just the beauty and the spirit that lives here is pretty incredible.
My grandmother was Italian and cooking was just part of our life. I'm making the rice pudding. So, and the idea of this is to make it very small, but to ensure it still has a little bit of the crunchiness. When you look at people with a disability, the first few minutes you see the disability, and then you see their ability. And it is that they're such beautiful, beautiful people that have so much ability.
I'm looking at all of this gorgeous fresh vegetables here beside me. I want my kitchen to be like this. This is like really amazing. When you can light a spark, you can help somebody awaken in them finding their true potential, that then can ripple onto others, because people become so passionate about that spark that they just want others to have it too. This is about finding true, like, human potential. This is about people connecting with people and having that spirit-to-spirit connection.
So make sure when you add onion, you need to leave from the side. Okay. This looks already yummy. I enjoy especially the cooking, so I get the chance to share my skill with new people. Before I came here, I was in my village. I work in like a farmer, so yeah, with my mother, and then we grow vegetables. When women come from rural village, I love learning skill in tourism and hospitality. Most of the girls, we don't want to only just train them in a skill, we also want to make sure they continue their higher education, so that's why we make sure that these girls go to university and, you know, like achieve their goals in the future.
So we always start the rice pudding in the beginning because it takes a really long time, maybe like 2 hours, 3 hours, because of we have to cook in a low heat.
I love cooking because of I get a chance of to share my skills with the foreign people, and also I improve my lots of English from them. I'm studying business management. This organization is providing a scholarship for not only me, other children also in a remote area. I get a chance to get from their culture also, Western culture. I love their like their Christmas festival and New Year.
You know, it's one thing to hear about what 7 Women is doing in Nepal. It's a completely different thing to experience it. The joy that is in that centre that the women have created, the positive energy and the life that is in that centre is incredible to experience. And visitors, they love having visitors. They love being able to practice their English. They love passing on their cultural traditions, their cultural recipes. When we work together like that and when we bring groups to Nepal, it's beneficial for the groups, and it's, you know, very transformative for the women. My friend Matt has joined us on this trip. He was born with a disability and walks with a prosthetic limb. Many Nepalese have not seen a Westerner with a disability, so the women were keen to hear from him.
When I was born, my leg didn't grow, my right leg, so I had a leg that came to about the knee on this side. And they worked for nearly 15 years trying to fix it, but they couldn't fix it. So in the end, they suggested getting it taken off and this new one fitted. And this is the first time I've actually had a leg like this, and it's actually got a 45-hour battery in it, so it's actually got a motor.
Durbar Square is a fantastic place to take the groups because there's so much happening in, it's the local bazaar. There's so many different colours, sights, smells.
One photo, $20. Okay.
So she live here. She live here. The living goddess Kumari. So we choose the baby from the Sake family.
It's very rare to find women here in Nepal in the tourism industry, and that's part of the commitment of Hands-On Development Tours to also be a platform to train women from Seven Women, but also females here in Nepal that have a passion for tourism. We've got Christilla and Sumira that lead our trips.
Nepal, it's actually a male-dominated society. People do not consider female to work as a tour guide because the women, they need to work from early in the morning till late at night. So it is not considered very feasible for women to work as a tour guide in Nepal. I cannot sit for a whole day in front of the laptop and everything. So for me, this is like earning as well, and you're enjoying at the same time. We are going to the holy Hindu temple called Pashupatinath, which is very famous among the Hindus and Buddhist people. Under that temple area, we see the cremations going on.
And it's very confronting for the group to visit a site like Pashupatinath, but it's also the reality here. And a lot of the group's surprised that a lot of locals visit this as a tourist attraction.
The thing that's really surprised me was some elements of the Nepalese culture about how open and natural they are in engaging with each other. The whole concept of open cremations was a little bit of a confronting experience to start with, but when I saw it, it seemed to fit.
Monkey Temple is a fantastic temple that is a great aerial view over Kathmandu. It's 1,000 steps up the hill, which can be tough for quite a few group members, but once we're there, it's worth it, because the view is stunning. I just love the environment there, the prayer wheels where you see the Tibetan migrants coming, and they've got their beautiful prayer beads. They're walking around the temple saying Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, which means bring peace to the world, and they're spinning the wheels. And the belief is that when they spin the wheels, their prayers go up to heaven. Going to FOST is really important. It's an organisation that is run by a man called Sianu who used to work for the World Bank. He is like a nutty professor. He is so passionate about recycling and recycling waste and the waste problem in Nepal. So he has things like vests made out of old rice sacks and hats made out of plastic. Anything that we throw, he will create things with. At FOST, there's huge solar cookers that he cooks all of his food in. He does food security for the months where the rain doesn't come.
1800 watt, but now it is 1000 watt. So you can put immediately. Immediately, you can burn it. With the popcorn. Okay, you will share, okay?
I think it's important to remind groups and people that come on the tours about waste and what we can do back home with waste. And seeing someone who's taken it to the extreme reminds us that we can do a little bit. One of the organisations that the group visits is an organisation called Association of Craft Producers. They are the largest fair trade organisation in Nepal. The founder of that organisation, Meera, is a force of nature. She is a pioneer. She brought fair trade to Nepal. She employs hundreds of women to make fair trade products out in the village areas and has been a great support to Seven Women also.
Since 45 years I've been working for economic empowerment, women economic empowerment through handicraft. Woman does either knitting or sewing or block printing or ceramics as a hobby, okay, for herself or for family or for neighbors without money, you know. And that hobby, we demonstrated that hobby could be translated, you know, as profession, as a career.
We learn so much from experiencing and listening and being around other leaders. When we started Seven Women, the women's skill level wasn't the greatest. I designed a few products for ACP to make, so that's where we started the relationship. This is one of the designs that I made, and the cockatoo, so the galah, the cockatoo. Pelican, what else was there? Kookaburra and an owl. So we used to order those and wholesale them to about 200 shops all over Australia.
One thing that always interests me, having spent 30 years working in Asian countries, is seeing the great challenges for a country like Nepal in being able to modernise and globalise without losing its culture.
Often when you travel, you actually don't really understand what your impact is. Knowing that, you know, most of the purchases we've made have gone to, you know, a fair trade product or to, you know, directly to women in need and to support their families. You can see the impact.
Bringing us here to not only see the centre, but to learn about the culture, learn about the political environment, to learn about the obstacles, the opportunities, all of that, we go back as ambassadors.
One of the days we travel outside of Kathmandu Valley to an ancient city called Bhaktapur, and it's like stepping back in time 100 years. You can see local men with pails of water, you know, across their shoulders. You can see an old pottery square with them making, you know, pottery with their hands. I think it's a great part of the itinerary to bring groups to the village to see village life in Nepal and how people live from the land, which, you know, can be quite removed from our lives back home. So we visit the school. Some of the challenges facing schools, like the one we visit in Sudal, is funding and proper infrastructure for the kids.
One of my roles in the UK is as a school governor. I think everyone should be entitled to a good education if they want one. Small remote towns don't often get the same resource that they should have and need, and it's really pleasing to see and spend a little bit of time in the classroom. They're not then deprived of the kind of equal opportunities that children in the cities where there are larger schools will get.
They don't get many chances to see Western people, so they love the interaction.
1, 2,
3, you put your right arm in, you put your right arm out, you put your right arm in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey as you turn around. That's what it's all about. 6 years old. English. Bye. Say bye bye. Bye bye.
It feels very spiritual. We're in the middle of this terraced, almost valley, and just looking around at the faces of these children, they're beautiful. They're stunningly beautiful, and I love that they're in a place where they're receiving education.
It's saying that Steph has been coming to this school for a very long time, and she has been supporting also with the groups which we have been bringing here. They have been supporting. They provided kids with sometimes they provided kids with the tie, or with the mufflers, or with the caps which they are wearing.
What I've learned is the challenges that they have to keep their doors open. Teaching is such a profound profession, and I have such respect for the teachers there and the work that they're doing.
Children who don't go to school in Nepal will have very similar futures to their parents, farmers living off the land. It's, you know, to be able to be employed, and education is essential. Often it just takes one generation to break the cycle of poverty, and I believe education is the first building block of that. It's really exciting to have the group here for the opening of the guest house. We have worked so hard at renovating this building. This opening of the guest house celebration is the fruits of all the hard labour over the last year and a half. The women are so excited. They're getting dressed up in their traditional dresses for the occasion. You know, we've got over 150 guests coming, and these guests are people that have been part of our journey.
Welcome.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
What an oasis!
It's incredible. Oh, but they're not straight. Can I straighten them?
Yes.
I know perfectionist.
At our opening of the guest house, we'll have the Minister of Labour and Social Security and the Australian Ambassador Pete Budd come to chop the ribbon and officially open our guest house.
In the 60th anniversary of partnership between Nepal and Australia, we talked very much about that connection between Nepal and Australia, that people connection, and what Seven Women is doing is very much key to that.
Single ladies in our society are suffering by the very problems, and this type of institution serving very well. When I came here, I hear I am going to join the program of 7 women, but here there are more than 17 women.
I'd like to say thank you so much everybody for coming today, because we have had so much support from so many people. I'm very proud to have my friends here from Australia on a tour. We've got a tour company, and I bring groups from Australia but also all over the world. So we've got people here from Ireland, Scotland, America, Canada and Australia. Have I forgotten anybody?
England.
We have a lot of visitors that come to our centre, and the main thing that the visitors say when they come is that they feel very positive energy. at our centre. We are extremely proud as the Seven Women team. These women that you're looking at here are very resilient and very brave women. Bolio manchiharu. My friends that have come on this trip have had an incredible experience, and it's amazing to see over the 10 days them light up, you know, with what they're experiencing and the beautiful Nepali people that we're meeting that inspire all of us.
The greatest emotional impact has been seeing how people with disabilities in a very, very poor country with very, very few opportunities, seeing how their lives can be transformed.
You really take away a sense of appreciation of what you have and the difficulties that others face and how lucky we are in what we do and what we have.
The trip and the experience I've had here has made me feel optimistic about what grassroots efforts can achieve, optimistic as usual about what a person with vision can do, optimistic about the kind of people that Seven Women have found on the ground here in Nepal, the kind of people that they've chosen to work with.
When you're dancing, you're not in thought, you're just in the moment, and it really is about just being in the moment, not having any other thoughts come in, and that's when true connections, true human connections happen.
Once the music started, language, culture, everything, it just gels. There's really good stuff and great opportunities to share with other human beings this whole life experience that we all travel on.
When I see the women dancing and so free and confident in their bodies and happy within themselves, it really reminds me of the reason why I started Seven Women. We can encourage women to reach their human potential and step out of the darkness.